Hey guys, welcome back to a new video, and in this video we will take a look to the newest Genesis unit, Quence. He's a dark magic unit, and as far as I know he's the master or the father of Ambrosia. And by the way, thanks to Airman who made it possible for me to showcase her. By the way, fun fact, and I asked him how his Quence is, like how many gates he has max, and he said, he's not good enough. And then I continued to ask him how his gates are, and then he sent me this. Wow, Airman, you are such a comedian. Even Quence is laughing. Okay, but enough from that. Let's take a look to his runes first. At first we are using a rune for magic attack power plus 15. By the way, don't use red runes to get magic attack power when your magic unit doesn't scale off of P attack. Then a rune for magic attack, agility, HP, and 2 runes for the sleep set for area attack plus 5. Okay, now let's take a look to his gear setup. First we're using the VCR from his own Memento Sphere, which gives max jewels plus 25, magic attack plus 50, agility plus 10, reduce magic attack debuff plus 40, and it also has a gear ability Origin Fatality, which reduces jewel spend at start of on turn by 5 and it's stackable up to 10 times. If you don't have that one, just use another gear that gives magic attack and or agility like Battlefield Drama. In the second slot we are using an HP gear in Conspicuous Overcoat. It gives HP plus 700. We are just using an HP gear in the second slot. You could also think about using Moonstar Armor. And Moonstar Armor also has auto heal. And in the third slot, well, it's depending on what you want. I'm using Scarf of Wisdom, the VCR from Otima's first limited memento from his New Year's memento to get the auto heal. But if you're already using the Moonstar Armor in the second slot, then you don't need to use that gear in the third slot. But it also gives Charm plus 1, might be useful in some situations. But you could also think about using, wait, where is it? That one, Trusty Critter Chip for modify magic attack power plus 15. Or any other gear that increases his damage. Okay, now let's take a look to his mementos. We're using his own memento in the main slot, obviously. Memories of a Sealed Past, which gives magic attack as base stat. By the way, the stats of this memento are way lower compared to the other mementos that I showcased, because this one is not at max limit break, so less stats. But anyway, it gives magic def plus 40, dark plus 4, oh god, modify dark unit def plus 2, and it also gives HP plus 330, max juice plus 16, and magic attack plus 49. And if you have the memento at maximum break, then you also get magic attack power plus 16. This memento also has a visual ability, Wretched Hour, irreversible, places a damage crit within target area that permanently inflicts sleep and inflicts Alchemic Crush. I will come back to that later. Crit disappears after being activated 3 times, range 3, area cross 3, high range 2. And the crit makes damage of 2000. And if you have the memento at maximum break, then damage gets increased from 2000 to 3000. And the crits disappear after being activated 5 times instead of just 3 times. You also get 1 range more on that vision ability and also 2 more high range. If you don't have that one, then just use any other memento from Lasberg for some extra stats, like the pre-memento for Rebecca. It gives magic def plus 64. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. And since there's a collab coming tomorrow, if you don't have the memento, it's not really that important, trust me. Okay, but now let's take a look to his skills. Retracing Techniques. Okay, first skill, Dark Hole, Treason, dark magic attack on enemy and powers based on target's agility, and if target has auto heal, nullifies auto heal for 5 turns. Range 5, high range 3. Then, Replay Restart, completely restores skill use count of Witching Hour, Welter and Dark Chain Mania and can only be used once. Now to the most interesting skills. At first, Witching Hour, Welter. Dark magic attack on enemy units with an area around them and inflicts Alchemic Crush and raises power if target is inflicted with a status. Area Diamond 5, high range 2. The Toko damage rate of that skill is 80, and now let me explain you Alchemic Crush. Okay, and then Shadow Chain Mania, dark magic attack on enemy and inflicts support notification and inflicts Alchemic Crush, range 4, high range 2. And for those who still don't know what support notification means, it's basically the opposite of daze. You can only use damage inflicting skills. And after you max this 5th gate, this one turns into Dark Chain Mania, dark magic attack on enemy and inflicts support notification and inflicts Alchemic Crush. And you also get a magic attack buff for 3 turns of 30%, which is completely unnecessary when you are running him in a team with Letitia or Voda, because this magic attack buff isn't stackable with Letitias or Vodas. And then his last skill, Reverse Regress, dark magic attack on enemy units with an area around self and inflicts stun for 5 turns, and raises agility while stunned by 100% and forces unit lock. Area Diamond 7, high range 2. And now his basics, basic retracing techniques. Survival Backlash permanently raises magic attack by 300 and reduces cast time by 30, and it's stackable up to 2 times. And the cool thing is that it's stackable with other magic attack buffs like Letitias or Vodas. And the fact that makes his magic attack buff even better is that his magic attack buff counts towards his base stat. And stat buffs are based off of the base stats, which makes his magic attack buff even better when using Letitia or Voda in your team. And then Ascension Turntable swaps positions with enemy and lowers target's all death by 20 for 2 turns and raises own all death for 1 turn by 40. Range 7, high range 1. Then Shadow Stop Adverse, dark magic attack on units with an area and inflicts bind, range 4, area cross 3, high range 2. Now let's take a look to his passives. At first, Time Seeker raises magic attack by 35% and raises magic attack for 5 turns at start of first turn after appearing on map by 48%. Effect decreases each turn by 8%. And then Clock Void completely nullifies delay, stop and raises max HP by 10% and raises move by 1. And after you max his second gate, this one turns into Snow Swept Traveler, completely nullifies delay and stop and raises max HP by 10%, magic attack power by 30 and raises move by 1. You could also think about using Time Leap to raise the skill use count plus 1 to be able to inflict more Alchemic Crush to your enemies. But I don't think it's worth it at all because you are losing too much damage then. And for his reactions, we are using Reversal Revoir. Performs a dark counter attack when receiving damage and lowers all elementals for 3 turns by 40, and it's stackable up to 3 times and also activated by skill attacks, range 3, high range 2. Okay, but now let's take a look to his gates. We maxed all of them except for the 3rd and 6th gate, which is the most important one, definitely his 2nd gate for magic attack power plus 30. His 5th gate is also good, but it's not really that important. I mean, you get the magic attack thing on it, you get a magic attack buff from that skill, but if you are using him in raids, then it's not necessary at all because it's not stackable with the Tishas or Voda's buff. But for overall users, I recommend to go for his 2nd gate, then for his 6th gate, for the huge HP boost, then for his 5th gate, then for his 1st gate for even more HP, and then for his 4th gate after the 1st gate. His 1st and 4th gate don't give magic attacks, so their only use is just for more HP. So let's say a worse gate 6. His leader skill is also decent. It raises HP and days rest by 30%, all attack by 20%, magic attack power by 10%, and reduces CT by 10% for dark units. Okay, now we're here at the Alchemy training grounds, and we are using the same setup as before, but at first I won't use any buffs or debuffs. We will do that later. Okay, at first normal it 4042, then Darkhold Treason 329, then Witching Hour Welter 9364, then Dark Chain Mania 7147, then Reverse Regress 9664, then Shadow Stop Adverse 5221, and then Wretched Hour Irreversible is grid, but we will walk into that one. Okay, and now I used him with all of his own buffs and debuffs. Normal hit 11,428, then Darkhold Treason 740, then Witching Hour Welter 18,051, then Dark Chain Mania 20,058, then Shadow Stop Adverse 14,533, and then Reverse Regress 26,000. Okay, but what's my opinion about him? In my opinion, he's a good unit, but his damage wasn't really that high. 26,000 was the highest I was able to reach, and that's kind of disappointing. He's still good for raids, but you need support units. You need more buffers and more debuffers to make him usable. At least for raids. For PvE, I think he's still okay, but well, also the problem is that he's a Genesis unit, and we all know how expensive Genesis units are. You don't even need his Memento to make him good, and the only important gate that is a must-have for him is his 2nd gate. Every other gate is just a bonus. Even though he's a Genesis unit, he's kinda cheap. He's easier. He's easy to raise. The problem is to get him. But if you are lucky with Louise Sharp, then you probably just transmuted him. I was unlucky with the Sharp, so I couldn't transmute him. So is he worth the raise? Yes, he definitely is. But I only recommend to pull for him if you like the unit, or if you want to have another good damage dealer for raids because of Alchemic Crush. Otherwise, I don't see such a good use in him. But hey, that's just my opinion. But anyway, I hope you had fun. Thanks for watching, and we see you in the next one.